Good evening, everyone. My name is Joshua Stout. This is the Unit 4 discussion on thick and thin clients and my argument in favor of thin or thick. Just real quick refresher. Thin is where your computer isn't doing any of the work other than displaying the data that it receives. And the server where the data is coming from is doing all the work. It's aggregating it all together, it's formulating it in the right tables that you need to see it in, and it's sending you those tables of data so that you can display it, or that text or whatever that may be. Thick is where your computer does most of the work, so you'll do the request, that server will send you all the data, but then your computer's got to work the data, put it the way it needs to be, and then also display it. And in that case, where your computer's doing the work, it's really doubling the load. It's the memory it takes to store it and the memory it takes to actually hold it off to the side in these temporary tables and formulate it in such a way that it needs to be displayed. In my case, I've always argued that it depends, because there's no win if you're purely thin or purely thick, because at some point the work's got to be done and someone has to pay for it. Now nowadays computers do have a decent bit of processing power, usually nothing compared to an actual server, but usually with your PC there's one human being using your PC, where if there's a server there could be 10, 200, 3,000, 100,000 people hitting your server. And that to have a server powerful enough to handle all of that costs a lot of money. There are methods to reduce that. You see that nowadays with web browsers like Amazon, where you can't seem to pull back more than 200 results at a time. Like, you're aware that there's 50 pages of information, but you can't see it all. And in that case, Amazon is kind of using you as you have a thin client, maybe like 20% of the work, they're doing 80%. And they're just giving you 200 results, and you can look at those all day long. There's not a big impact on either side. Now, if you don't program that way, and there really was 200,000 results, that's where thick and thin really matters. Because if you send someone 200,000 results, you're probably going to mess up their computer. I mean, if it's a regular PC computer, you're not built for gaming with extra hard drive space, you're just going to run out of memory. Either the browser that you're using will fail, or the application you have will freeze your computer and things will stop. And then vice versa. If you have a server trying to work 200,000 items, it's going to have the same problem. And when it freezes up, it stops all those other users from using it. So my argument is it depends. It's based on what you're doing, how you're doing, and how much data you have. I look forward to seeing your guys' videos. Have a great night.